Welcome to the stream. Tonight you are watching the Nebraska City Pioneers take on the Platteview Trojans. I'll be your host, Micah Schimmel, on the mic. And tonight we expect a pretty good game here from both sides. As Nebraska City 0-1 after facing Crete, and Platteview currently 3-0 in total, 1-0 in the regular season, but 3-0 after playing in a tournament this weekend. Some early disappointments here as I talked to Coach Dewey. So the previous games were the result. Nebraska City lost to Crete as Crete beat them 4-0, and Nebraska City, they got shut down in that game, and that just showed them what they had a lot of things to grow and to fix as a team. Now, some history for both of the teams. Platteview, as I said, they won a tournament this weekend, and they're either going to state tournaments or sub-state most years. Some players to watch out for are the sisters Hobbs. That will be number 9, Nayla Hobbs, and number 10, Shayla Hobbs, and Morgan Quinn. That would...
Yeah. Switch it.
Nope. We will be right back here in just a moment. So, for tonight, the starting lineup for the Nebraska City Pioneers looks a little something like this. At number 1, we have Olivia Hurix. I apologize if I mispronounced that. Number 2, Zoe Steckenholtz. Number 3, Maisha Oggs. Number 4, Gracelyn Newman. Number 5, Kendall Cathell. Number 8, Andrea Rojas Castor. Number 14, Aurelia Gonzalez. Number 13, Adeline Wigington. Number 21, Jocelyn Crispin. Number 23, Carolee Peterson. Number 24, Nevaeh Percy. And number 27, Paisley Meyer. And for the Trojans of Platteview, we have number 1, Caitlin Lynch. Number 2, Carly Nguyen. Number 9, Nayla Hobbs. Number 10, Shayla Hobbs. Number 4. What? Oh. Oh.
Number 10, Shayla Hobbs.
Shayla Hobbs. Number 14, Ava Krebs. Number 20, Riley Tex. Number 25, Jet Zelinsky. Number 30, Bray Wedlin. Number 33, Makela Wallman. Number 36, Sophie Morrison. Number 40, Tenley Eckler.
Are coached by Katie Hobbs and assisted by Maureen Vanderbrook, Tatia Hobbs, Jericho Olsen, Caitlin Adrian, and Jessica Kabor. And now for the starting lineup for the home team, the Nebraska City Pioneers!
Okay, we're gonna go right back.
We're gonna be right back.
At number 1, Olivia LaRue.
All right, looks like we're poised for a good game today as Nebraska City takes on Platteview. This will be my first official game commentating here, so I do hope it goes well. Now then, a little bit more into the future after this game. Nebraska City will play Omaha Buena, but they will have to focus on this game here. After falling to Crete last week, 0-4, Coach Dewey told me they hope to bounce back this week by hopefully playing up that defense here. All right. Looks like the players are going out of the field here, and we will get ready to kick off. And Nebraska City will kick off here.
Do you have a charger for the camera?
There's no battery. It'll be fine.
Okay, because we only have 1 hour.
That's fine.
Looks like it'll be number 2, Zoe Steckenholtz, kicking off here for Nebraska City. And the game begins. Nebraska City starts with the ball, but Platteview immediately charging in. But Platteview will intercept that ball that was passed to Nebraska City. Oh. An interesting play there by Platteview. Oh! Immediately gets up after that one. That did look like a pretty good hit there by Nebraska City, but that looks like it will be a penalty kick for Platteview here. Platteview has the ball, and they will kick here. Let's see what they decide to do with it. Platteview kicks off, and they're immediately deep in Nebraska City's defense. Let's see if they can get anything done here. Platteview passes the ball. Oh, but that will be scooped up by Nebraska City's goalkeeper, and it will be subsequently booted out of there. Right back to Platteview, who will go right back on the attack. Number 33 has the ball. That will be McKenna Wellman. She has the ball. Let's see what she can do with it. Maneuvering around Nebraska City's defense, tries to pass it, but that will be intercepted by Nebraska City, only to be promptly intercepted by Platteview. And they will keep charging deeply in Nebraska City's defense, but that will again be picked up by Nebraska City's goalkeeper, who will try to boot it back to Nebraska City's offense, and she will successfully do that, it looks like, as they header the ball right deep into Plattview's defense, who will in turn kick the ball right back to their own offense. Platteview passes the ball up through Nebraska City's defense. Let's see if they can get a goal here. They will not. Nebraska City's goalkeeper once again saves them from a goal. And they will kick that ball right back there. And Platteview will pick up where they left off as they continue to pass the ball through Nebraska City's defense here to 2v1 here. Platteview has to be careful, and they are not. It is intercepted by Nebraska City, but Platteview play it smart, and then they maneuver around Nebraska City's defense. Platteview 1v1. Smart pass there by Platteview, but they intercept that before it can get to the Nebraska City player. Platteview playing it very smart here to open it up. And it looks like they continue to maneuver around this defense. Platteview charging up the field, but that will not get there. And that will set up for a Nebraska City goal kick. A very defensive game starting out here for Nebraska City, but it looks like they're managing to keep up so far. All right. Nebraska City sets up for a goal kick here. Let's see if they can get it back out there, hopefully to Plattview's side. That will not be the case, as Platteview will go right back on the attack after intercepting the goal kick. Let's see if they can get anything done here. Trying to maneuver around Nebraska City's defense, but Nebraska City's defense does not want to break, and they will force that ball out of bounds for a throw-in. Platteview throws it in, and it looks like they are going right back on the attack here. But Nebraska City's defense manages to corral the ball only to force the ball out of bounds for a Platteview throw-in. And Platteview will throw that ball back in here, right to Nebraska City's defense. And it looks like they steal the ball off of Nebraska City and are right back on the attack. Platteview crosses the ball right there. Oh, but looks like it'll be an offside here for Platteview. So Nebraska City will get to kick the ball here from around the 10-yard line.
Where's the ball? Okay.
Nebraska City kicks it back off. And we're right back into the action. Platteview managing to steal the ball off Nebraska City. They're right back into that defense. And let's see if they can break through this time. Platteview maneuvering around the Nebraska City defense, but cannot find a hole. Let's see if they can do it. But Nebraska City's defense almost seeming too tough here for Platteview to break through. Platteview has the ball, but they will manage to break through that first layer. Let's see if they can get through the second. Trying to maneuver on the defense, but that will not work as Nebraska City's goalkeeper manages to scoop that one up, and she will boot it off here in just a sec. Right back into, oh no, never mind. Looks like Nebraska City's offense is there that time, and they will try to win this 1v1 here, and they will not, as Platteview will manage to scoop that up and win the 2v1 here, as they're forcing Nebraska City back into their own defense. But Platteview maneuvering around Nebraska City's defense, trying to get through, but they cannot, and that ball will go out of bounds for what it looks like is a goal kick. Yep. Nebraska City will kick off here again. And they kick it right back into the clutches of Platteview, who go right back on the attack. And Platteview tries to pass the ball, but that will be stolen by the Nebraska City offense. But they will not break through Plattview's defense here, as there are 3 players right there ready to scoop that ball up. But Platteview will force that ball out of bounds for what it looks like is a Nebraska City throw-in. That is the case. Nebraska City have to play it smart here. They have to get it past Plattview's offense if they want to get into scoring position. And it looks like a good throw in there for Nebraska City as they pass the ball out of bounds for a Platteview throw in. Trying to regroup here, I assume. Platteview has the ball, trying to win this 1v1, but they cannot, so they pass it back to their defense. A smart play. Nebraska City back on the offense. Let's see if they can get anything done here. 3 Platteview players versus 1 Nebraska City player. So it looks like they're going to manage to maneuver this ball around the Nebraska City offense and go right back on the attack. Yes, that is what they appear to be doing. And they're maneuvering around the Nebraska City offense. Gonna try to get a goal here. Can Platteview do it? They will not. And it will be a corner kick here. Yes, it will be. I was trying to discern what was going on there. "32 minutes left to go in this one. Still a long half to go for Nebraska City. But it looks like Platteview is getting right up in their face. Platteview will kick off here, and then we'll get the ball right back into Nebraska City's offense. But the goalkeeper will get that one. And she will boot it off here. Nebraska City has the ball, but they will kick it out of bounds for a Platteview throw-in. And so Platteview throws it in, and they have the ball. But Nebraska City almost managing to steal the ball off there, and they will. But will they manage to keep it inside the bounds of the playing field? They will. And so, no, Platteview has the ball. A skillful pass right there as Nebraska City almost had it. But they will manage to steal it off Platteview, and they are getting physical out here. And so Platteview will force the ball back into their own defense. Can Nebraska City manage to steal it off of them? No, they will not, as Platteview forces the ball out of bounds for a Nebraska City throw-in to regroup. Nebraska City throws it in. They get it past one Platteview defender, but another one is right there. Let's see if Nebraska City can win this 1v1. Platteview passes. Platteview going up the side of the field, right across the out of bounds. Let's see if they can maneuver past the Nebraska City defense. Oh, right through the legs there. That was a nice play there by Platteview. Let's see if they can make anything out of it. Platteview needs to win the 1v1 here, and it looks like they will not. Nebraska City trying to zone them out, and they will, but Nebraska City crucially kicks the ball out there. That will be a Platteview throw-in. Platteview has the ball. Again, trying to maneuver around the Nebraska City defense, but the Nebraska City defense is too tight, and that ball will go right into the stands. But another ball will be provided here. Platteview throw it in, and they are trying to get through the Nebraska City defense, which has so far been a brick wall, and it will be again as the ball is kicked deep into Platteview territory. Nebraska City on the attack. Platteview retreating, trying to corral that ball. Let's see if Nebraska City can do anything here. But Platteview, they will corral that ball, and they will try to pass upwards for a header. Platteview managing to get down the sideline there. Platteview on the attack. Can anybody stop him? Platteview try to do a cross, and they will, but they will not score. Thankfully, Nebraska City's defense managing to stay tight there for a Nebraska City goal kick. That could have been disastrous there for Nebraska City in this so far tight game. Nebraska City kicks off the ball. But Platteview right on there. They're right back on the attack, folks. But Nebraska City managing to surround the Platteview players. And so, they will turn the ball over to Platteview, who will try to kick the ball in from that far. But Nebraska City's goalkeeper standing tall and managing to scoop up that ball. And they will boot it right back into the clutches of Platteview. But it's deep in Plattview's offense. Let's see if they can get it past. They can. And so Platteview will attempt to recover. 2v1 here. Let's see if Platteview can do anything. They can. They maneuver around the Nebraska City offense. But Nebraska City's offense manages to steal that ball off of Platteview. But Platteview steals the ball away from Nebraska City. But they manage to pass back into their own defense, where they will surely manage to recover and pass that ball right back to their own offense. But no, Nebraska City's offense says no, and that ball will go out of bounds for a Platteview throw-in. Nebraska City here managing to recover, but wait, there's 2 subs coming in for Platteview so far. Platteview has been on an aggressive attack, but it has not been working. Plattview's defense, Nebraska City's defense managing to stay tight here, and if they can do that, they can go right back on the attack. Platteview has the ball. Let's see what they can do with it. Platteview trying to maneuver on 2 Nebraska City offense players, but they pass it back to their own defense, and they will pass it back again, and they will pass it forward right past Nebraska City's defense, but they manage to header the ball right back to Platteview, who will try to maneuver the ball around. Let's see if they can do it. Platteview passes the ball up, but there are 2 Nebraska City defenders there, and that will not be happening today. And so Platteview trying to again maneuver the ball around Nebraska City, but Nebraska City forcing the 2v1 here. Platteview passes the ball up, but they have to retreat. Platteview passes the ball back, and they will pass it up again, trying to get it past, but it's 2 Nebraska City players, but Platteview manages to exploit the hole. Platteview shoots, and they score! That will be a Platteview point here, and yes, it will be. Just got confirmation from the referees there, and so it will be Platteview.
Platteview manages to exploit the hole. Platteview shoots and they score!
For the first few minutes, but Platteview managing to find the hole and exploit it, and so they will manage to get a point here off of Nebraska City. Nebraska City kicks off, and they will try to boot that ball deep into Plattview's defense. That will manage to work. It's a 1v1 here. Platteview has the ball back, trying to maneuver it past Nebraska City's offense, and it looks like they may 1v1 here from Platteview, but they managed to get the ball outside and pass it back up. But wait, there looks like there is a penalty here. And it looks like it will be a kick for Platteview. Yep. Not exactly sure what the penalty was there, folks. I did not manage to get a look at the flag there. But it does not matter, as Nebraska City will go right back on the attack. But Platteview will steal that ball right off of Nebraska City. And they will not manage to do anything, though, as Nebraska City steals the ball back and will do a beautiful diving kick there. But Plattview's goalkeeper will scoop that ball. Nope, they will just boot it right back to their own defense. Smart play there. I thought they were going to scoop it up, but I was wrong. Platteview has the ball and expertly trying to maneuver it around Nebraska City's defense, but they will not. Nebraska City using some fancy footwork here, trying to... Oh, but they will not. Platteview manages to recover here, and they pass the ball back so they can pass it forward. Oh, managing to exploit the hold there in the Nebraska City defense, but that will not work. Or will it? As Platteview manages to once again break a hole in the Nebraska City defense, but can they do anything with it? They may manage to do so. But look, there's a flag on the field here. And it looks like it will be a Nebraska City kick here. Probably an offsides there. That's what it looks like. Nebraska City will kick it off here. And they will boot it right into Platteview territory. It definitely an interesting play there. But let's see if it pays off. Platteview controlling the ball in their own territory. Passing it to all of the players. Managing to run around Nebraska City. Platteview just running around Nebraska City's offense. And they are barely moving at all as Platteview will boot it into Nebraska City's defense. Looks like a Platteview kick here for possibly a penalty there. Looks like Platteview will get to kick it here. This could be another opportunity here for them to score if they can manage to pop that ball over Nebraska City's defense and right into the goal. Let's see if they can do it. Platteview tries to shoot, but they will not, as Nebraska City's goalkeeper manages to catch that one. And they will boot it right back into the arms of their offense. A 1v1 here for Nebraska City. They do not manage to win it, as Platteview will manage to recover that ball, pass it around, and let's see what they can do with it. Platteview passes the ball up, and they expertly pass the ball again. Oh, passes the ball back up. Nebraska City has the ball. I mean, Platteview has the ball, but what will they manage to do with it? Platteview deep in Nebraska City territory, passing the ball around, trying to find the hole here. But Nebraska City's defense seems a little tight. Platteview, oh my goodness, what a shot! Managing to pop that ball right into the perfect spot where the goalkeeper did not manage to jump and save it. And so it will be Platteview 2, Nebraska City 0. What a shot, man.
But Nebraska City's defense seems a little tight. Platteview, oh my.
Defense, they have been tight, but they have not managed to stop Platteview so far, as Platteview are up 2-0 here with 25 minutes to go still in this first half. Let's see if Nebraska City can manage to recover and dig deep into that Platteview side. So far, they have not managed to get anywhere near Plattview's goal. Oh, Platteview getting physical there, and that will get them a penalty. Luckily, the Nebraska City player does not seem to be all that hurt, and they will get up and continue to play. Nebraska City getting an offense that, getting a chance here to get that ball deep into Plattview's territory and possibly score a goal here. Let's see if they can do it. Nebraska City kicks off, but they will be deep into Platteview territory, but they manage to corral it. 1v1 here from Nebraska City, but that will not pay off as Platteview will header the ball out of bounds for a Nebraska City throw-in. Nebraska City throws the ball in, but it will be right to Platteview, who header the ball right back out of bounds for another Nebraska City throw-in. Platteview managing to gain control of the ball, passing the ball back to their own defense. But Nebraska City on the attack. They are fast. Nebraska City managing to get the ball deep into Plattview's defense, but they will manage to get that ball out of bounds for a Nebraska City throw-in as Platteview will attempt to recoup here and try to stop this Nebraska City offense. Let's see if Nebraska City can get a point on the board. That will be their first point of the season. Nebraska City throws the ball in. Smartly, I might add. 1v1 here for Nebraska City, but they will kick that ball out of bounds as there is no room to work. So, it will be a goal kick for Platteview. And they will just try to boot this ball out of here and right back into Nebraska City territory to try to score again. But Platteview kicks it right to Nebraska City, but it turns out to be a smart play here as Platteview header the ball. Oh my goodness, what a pass there. As they header the ball right back to their own offense, but Nebraska City's goalkeeper manages to scoop up that ball and boot it right back to Platteview, who will maneuver the ball around the Nebraska City defender. Platteview on the attack. Can they score again? No! Nebraska City's goalkeeper manages to stop that one. Nebraska City will kick it off here right to their own player, but Platteview will steal the ball off of them and will pass it back to their own defense, who will pass it back to the offense, trying to run around Nebraska City here, and they will, as Platteview managing to win the 1v1, managing to win the 2v1 by passing, and Platteview will pass the ball up here and we'll try to maneuver around Nebraska City's defense. They manage to do so. Platteview going up. They will shoot, but they will not get it past Nebraska City's goalkeeper, who manages to scoop another one up. And they will try to boot it here right back, but Platteview will be right back on the attack. And they will shoot, but they will miss. And so Platteview have managed to give Nebraska City a goal kick here with 22 minutes about here to go. Platteview have been consistently attacking Nebraska City here. Let's see if Nebraska City can tighten up their defense and get a little offense going. But no, Platteview will manage to get that goal kick, and they will pass the ball around here right out of bounds for a Nebraska City throw-in. Nebraska City throws it in right into the arms of three Platteview defenders, and Platteview will pass the ball around to. Platteview has three options here, but they will pick incorrectly as two Nebraska City defenders are right there, and Nebraska City will pick that ball up and will pass it forward, but they will not, as Platteview steals the ball off of Nebraska City. Possibly a throw-in should have been called there, but it will not happen, as there will now be a Platteview throw-in here. Platteview will try to get the ball back to Nebraska City, but they will not. But they will steal the ball off of them and try to get through this Nebraska City defense. 1v1 here from Platteview, but they will pass the ball back to their own defense. Another 1v1 here from Platteview, but they will maneuver around the Nebraska City offensive They will pass the ball forward. And so Platteview trying to maneuver around Nebraska City's defense, but they will not manage to do so. Trying to find the hole, but they have not so far, as Nebraska City will manage to block that pass. Boom! Platteview managing to find the hole here, but will they manage to score another goal? They will not, as Nebraska City's defense deflects it. But Platteview winning the 1v1 there, but it will not matter as Nebraska City has the ball here and will try to pass it up, but that will not be happening as Platteview kicks the ball out of bounds for a Nebraska City throw-in. Nebraska City's defense managing to keep up with Platteview here, but they will not be able to keep up for long if this keeps going. Nebraska City managing to do some fancy footwork there, but it will not matter as Platteview will steal the ball and they will continue on the attack. Platteview shoots, but they will miss as Nebraska City's goalkeeper manages to get that one in her grasp. But Platteview, they will try to recover that goal kick, but they will not, as that will be kicked out of bounds for a Platteview throw-in here. And they will throw the ball in rather smartly. Platteview maneuvering the ball around Nebraska City's defense here, but they will spinning around Nebraska City's defense. Platteview back on the attack. They're going to try to shoot another goal here, but it will not be happening as Nebraska City's defense managing to get that ball out from Platteview, and they will set up for a corner kick here. All right, Platteview going to set up a corner kick here. They're going to kick it deep into Nebraska City's defense, and it will work. Platteview have the ball, but Nebraska City steal it right out from under Platteview. Nebraska City being aggressive here, but Plattview's defense managing to pick up the slack a little bit here as they will run around Nebraska City's offense and pass it up right back onto their offensive. Platteview managing to maneuver the ball right around Nebraska City's attack. 3 options here for Platteview, and they will go with passing it to their own defense, right back to their own offense. Platteview on the attack, trying to find the hole again. Let's see if they can do it. Boo! But that will be intercepted by Nebraska City, but Platteview will steal it off of them. Nebraska City passes the ball forward. But wait, Nebraska City does not manage to corral that one, and Platteview will recover it, and they will go right back to passing the ball around, trying to run around Nebraska City's defense here. And it will work as Platteview managed to almost maneuver around them. Wait, they may. Platteview have the ball, but they are not managing to get around Nebraska City's defense here. So looks like the wall may finally be working here for Nebraska City. But how long can they keep it up? Platteview have the ball. And they're just running around Nebraska City's defense here, waiting for a hole to open up. And it might just be now. But Nebraska City steal the ball from Platteview and kick it out of bounds in order to regroup. There will be 2 subs here for Platteview. An intense game here from Platteview so far, as Nebraska City have not managed to get a shot so far on their goal. Platteview throw it in, and they will miss the opportunity to stop that ball, making them go pass the ball back to their own defense. Nebraska City on the attack, but they will not manage to get that ball away from Platteview yet. Platteview do have the ball. See what they can do with it. Platteview passes the ball up. And they pass the ball again. And again, they will try to find the hole here. And they might just manage to do it. Platteview on the attack, but Nebraska City's goalkeeper will manage to scoop that one up. And they will boot it out here soon enough. Nebraska City kicks the ball off right into Plattview's clutches. Platteview have the ball. They win the 1v1 there, but they will not get it past Nebraska City's defense, who immediately kick the ball right out from under them. Nebraska City have the ball. They'll try to win the 1v1 here, but they will not, as Platteview steal it right out from under them. Platteview have the ball, but they're trying. But Nebraska City is very aggressive on defense. That ball will get past the Nebraska City defense for a throw-in. No, a goal kick instead, as I thought that went out of bounds. It will be a goal kick for Nebraska City as a few subs come onto the field for the players. Nebraska City preparing to kick the ball off here, trying to find the spark in their offense. But Platteview will not let them find that spark. They try to stop him, but Nebraska City header the ball forwards as Platteview try to steal it out from under them. Platteview getting physical here. Nebraska City, though, managing to get it through, only for Platteview to steal it out right from under the Nebraska City player. Platteview passing the ball right through Nebraska City's defense. 3 Nebraska City defenders there, but it does not matter as Platteview. They will manage to get through here right into the depths of Nebraska City's defense, but that will be an offside here. About 15 minutes here to go. Exactly 14 minutes, 16 seconds here for Nebraska City to try to pull together an offensive here, as they have not gotten a shot on Plattview's goal yet. Nebraska City kicked the ball off, but it will be right into the clutches of Platteview. Platteview on the attack, but Nebraska City's defense manages to get themselves together and kick the ball out of bounds before that ball becomes much too problematic for them, as Nebraska City will do a goal kick here. Nebraska City preparing to kick the ball off, and they will kick it right into the clutches of Platteview, who managed to maneuver around their defense. Platteview on the attack, but they will not manage to shoot that ball into the goal as Nebraska City puts up a nice block. Nebraska City has the ball charging forward, but that will go out of bounds for a Platteview throw-in. Platteview ball here, trying to maneuver around Nebraska City's defense again, but they will be denied as Nebraska City kicked the ball out of bounds again for another throw-in. Nebraska City have the ball here, but it will be stolen out from under them. Or will it? As Nebraska City managed to recover, but they kick the ball right to Platteview. Platteview are right back on the attack. Platteview have the ball, maneuvers around the Nebraska City defender, and another one. Platteview on the attack, gets the ball through the Nebraska City defender's legs, but the last defender will manage to stop that attack. Platteview have the ball, but there are a lot of Nebraska City defenders there, and they will stop that attack. Oh, and get through the Platteview defense too. Platteview have to retreat here. Nebraska City on the attack. Can they manage to recover? Platteview tries to pass the ball, but Nebraska City will intercept it, and they will try to pass the ball forward. But Platteview, as aggressive as ever, getting physical, pass as Nebraska City pass the ball out of bounds for a Platteview throw-in. Platteview have the ball here again, but Nebraska City the one getting physical here as they pass the ball out of bounds again and try to regroup. Platteview have the ball again, and they're deciding to play it a little bit defensively here to start off this next sequence. But they try to pass the ball forward, but that will not be getting through the Nebraska City defense as Platteview throw the ball in very quickly. Platteview trying to maneuver on the Nebraska City defense. One defender juked. Another one. They're trying to get through here, and they are. That's 3 Nebraska City defenders. My goodness, Platteview have maneuvered around 3 of them, but they will not get through. Oh, despite maneuvering around 3 defenders there, Platteview will not get through, and they will have to throw in another ball here. Platteview throw it in right to Nebraska City, but Platteview trying to win the 1v1, but they will not, as Nebraska City charge up the field. 1v1 here for Nebraska City, but they will, but that will be a handball for Nebraska City. And that will be a kick for Platteview. That could have been the offense that Nebraska City needed right there, but it will not be. Platteview will kick the ball off here. It's a beautiful kick right into the depths of the Nebraska City's defense, who managed to kick the ball right back to Plattview's offense, who managed to win the 1v1 and get the ball right back to their own offense. But they kick the ball right into Nebraska City's clutches, who kick it out of bounds in order to regroup. About 10 minutes left in this first half, and it's been a lot of action here from Platteview as Nebraska City attempt to defend against them. Platteview maneuvering around Nebraska City's defense, but they will not get through as that ball is kicked out of bounds for what looks like a corner kick here for Platteview. That is correct. Platteview will get the corner kick here. If they can score a third point before halftime, that could be devastating. Platteview try to header the ball in, but they will not be getting past Nebraska City's defense as they manage to get the ball out there. But Platteview will try to shoot, but they will miss, as that will be a Nebraska City goal kick here. Very close to a goal for Platteview, but there will be 3 Nebraska City subs coming in here as they try to rest before halftime. Nebraska City will kick the ball off from their own goal, trying to get the ball past the aggressive Platteview Trojans. So far, they have not managed to do so. Ooh, that ball will be missed by the Nebraska City defender, and they will fall to the ground. Unfortunate. Platteview right back on the attack. They're going to try to shoot and score here. Let's see if they can do it. Platteview passes the ball. They try to shoot, but they will miss. And that ball will go right through the goalposts there, folks. But there will be no points for Platteview, as this is not football. This is soccer. So there will be no points. Nebraska City have the ball and will try to pass the ball back to themselves, but they will not. Platteview maneuvering through the Nebraska City defense, but Nebraska City's defense manages to form a wall and stop them. They will try to pass the ball, but that will not be successful, as that will be out of bounds for a Platteview throw-in. Platteview throw the ball in here, and they will try to maneuver around the Nebraska City's defense again, and they will manage to do it. Platteview on the attack, but Nebraska City's goalkeeper will manage to stop them. Nebraska City have the ball and kick it deep into Platteview territory. Well, where Plattview's goalkeeper will boot it right back to their own offense. But Nebraska City tried to be aggressive, but they trip over themselves. Unfortunate, but Nebraska City's defense kick it right back to Platteview. And Platteview right back on the attack, but Nebraska City's goalkeeper will get that one and scoop it up for another boot here in just a moment. Trying to figure out where to kick the ball here. Try not to turn it over to Platteview. Gonna boot it deep. And Nebraska City will not manage to get it, as Platteview will get the ball off of the goal kick. But wait, Nebraska City intercept the ball. They're on the attack. But they will not manage to get past Plattview's defense. They will not manage to get that deep. And it looks like there's a sort of penalty here. I'm not exactly sure what for, but if I had to guess, it would be an offside here for Nebraska City. So Platteview will kick that ball, and it will be deep into the Nebraska City defense, as Platteview will most likely try to find the hole again. Platteview right on the attack. Trying to pass the ball around and confuse Nebraska City's defense, but they will not manage to do so. But they will pass the ball right to Platteview, who go right back on the attack. Trying to maneuver the ball again around Nebraska City's defense. Platteview managing to get the ball past the Nebraska City defender, who smartly kicks it out so they can regroup. Platteview throws the ball in, but that will be intercepted by the Nebraska City defender, who wins the 1v1. But there will be a trip on the field, so Nebraska City will kick the ball right back out of there. Nebraska City kick off here. And looks like they will try to get the ball past the Platteview Trojans, but they will not manage to do so. Platteview try to shoot, but they will not make it as Nebraska City's goalkeeper manages to catch that one. And they will try to boot it right out of here again. And they will not manage to do so as it will be a Nebraska City throw-in. I thought that would be a Platteview throw-in, but it looks like Nebraska City's goal kick work, as there will be 3 subs coming in here. 4 minutes, 18 seconds left to go in the half. And this has been a pretty tight half here at Pioneer Stadium, as Platteview up 2-0 against Nebraska City. But one good play from Nebraska City could manage to swing the tide here in this tight game. Platteview managing to maneuver around Nebraska City's defense, but Nebraska City's defense will managing to turn the ball over and will get away from Plattview's aggressive offense, managing to almost break through there as Plattview's defense will manage to steal the ball away from Nebraska City. Platteview charging up the field, passing the ball up. Platteview have the ball, but there will be an offside here for Platteview. And so Nebraska City will kick off here. Nebraska City trying to find any goal here in the last 3 minutes. One goal could swing the tide of this game. But, Platteview misheader that ball. And Nebraska City will get the ball far up the field. And they will manage to regroup. Nebraska City will throw the ball in here. And they will almost maneuver the ball around the Platteview defense. But Platteview will get the throw in here. And they will try to. But no! Nebraska City steal the ball away and will cross. But there's nobody there! Platteview have the ball again. And they will most likely kick that ball right out of there the soonest chance they get. But not if Nebraska City can win this 1v1, which they do not. And so, Nebraska City have the ball. Try to pass the ball up, but Platteview will steal it. Platteview have the ball. They pass the ball up. Platteview on the attack, but that ball will go out of bounds for a Nebraska City throw-in. Nebraska City throwing the ball. And that will be right to Platteview. As Platteview have the ball. And they will try to get past the Nebraska City defense again. Platteview right back on the attack. And they will not manage to find the hole, so they will just try to shoot it, but they will not get in that goal, as they will kick it out of bounds for a Nebraska City goal kick. Nebraska City, 1 minute 30 left for them to do anything. Let's see if they can manage to do it. Platteview right around that ball. Let's see if they can get to it. Nebraska City missing the kick there, and that will cost them as Platteview will manage to steal the ball right out from under them. Passing it back into their own defense. Platteview maneuvering the ball around the Nebraska City offense here. But Nebraska City will steal the ball out from under Platteview, but will not manage to do anything with it, as Platteview will pass the ball forward. Nebraska City's defense almost managing to intercept that one as Platteview kick it out of bounds to regroup. Actually, that's pretty smart of them. They're shaving off the clock here of Nebraska City and Platteview. They have the ball, and they are going fast. They're going fast down the field. They're going to try to score one more before halftime, but they will not manage to do so, as Nebraska City's goalkeeper manages to scoop that one up for another boot here. Nebraska City perhaps trying to shave enough time off the clock here to go into half just down 2-0. Nebraska City managed to kick that ball upfield. 18 seconds left. Can Platteview score a goal? Or will Nebraska City's defense manage to hold tight for the second half? Platteview on the attack. They're super aggressive now. Platteview try to shoot, but they will miss. But wait, no. Oh, that was a close one there as we will go into halftime. Platteview 2, Nebraska City 0. And we will be right back. All right, a little bit of break in the silence here. With about a minute left until halftime is over, this will be your official halftime report by Micah Schimmel. So far, the Platteview Trojans have managed to score 2 points here, but they have not managed to get past the Nebraska City defense here in the later of the first half. So if Nebraska City can get that ball upfield and pass the Trojans defense, you may be looking at an upset here. But let's see if they can manage to do it here. 35 seconds till halftime. I think Nebraska City can do it, but it all depends on if they can get past Plattview's really good defense. All right, 4 seconds left until halftime's over, and I'm ready to get back into this thing. All right, Nebraska City coming back onto the field, and so is Platteview. They're looking ready for a second half of soccer on this cool Monday night. Platteview getting ready to kick off here. If Nebraska City, again, can get past Plattview's defense and manage to score 2 more points and bring this game into overtime, we could be looking at an upset here. But it all depends on if Nebraska City can do it. We will see here in a few moments. Getting ready to start back up here. Looks like it'll be number 36, Sophie Morrison, kicking off here for Platteview. Everybody getting ready. The referees are making sure everybody is ready to go. And the game restarts. Platteview has the ball. Nebraska City immediately charging forward, deep into the Platteview defense. Platteview has to be ready for this, but there are 3 Nebraska City attackers right on them. Platteview are not looking composed out there, but they do manage to get it away from Nebraska City, and they will cross right to another Platteview attacker who crosses right back. What a stunning attack there. Platteview right back on the attack, and they have the ball, and they get it past Nebraska City's defense. Platteview have the ball, but it will be an offside. Unfortunate there for Platteview, who could have scored a 3rd point, but they do get an offside there. Nebraska City will kick the ball right back out of there. Nebraska City had a good-looking offensive going, but Plattview's defense did manage to clutch up and get back going. Ooh, Nebraska City booting it deep into Plattview's defense, but they will win the 1v1, and they will try to steal the ball away from Platteview, but Platteview will manage to recover and pass the ball up, and they will pass the ball back and forward again. Platteview wins the 1v1 with some fancy footwork and passes the ball deep into Nebraska City territory. Platteview almost gets there, but there will be an offside on them again. And so Nebraska City will kick that ball back off again. They have to be careful here. Platteview have almost gotten 2 goals in the matter of 2 minutes here. Almost. Nebraska City kicking the ball off, but they will kick it right to Platteview, who Nebraska City steals the ball from, but Platteview will intercept the pass of Nebraska City, and they will kick the ball back to their own offense from the defensive side. And they will kick the ball right back in there on the offensive, and they will break through the defensive wall of Nebraska City, but the goalkeeper will manage to scoop that one up. Nebraska City will boot it off here. And that will be right in front of 4 Platteview attackers, and they will almost steal the ball from Nebraska City. But Nebraska City, using their advanced tactics, managed to steal the ball from them. But Platteview does not care, and they will steal the ball off of Nebraska City and try to shoot it. But they will not manage to do anything, as Nebraska City's goalkeeper will manage to get that ball and boot it right off here in just a sec. And that kick will be good, and Nebraska City will manage to pass it by sliding, but they will pass it right to Platteview, who go back on the attack. Plattview's going to shoot, but wait, juking the Nebraska City defense, and Platteview managed to score again. My goodness, what a shot. That was an impressive shot there by Platteview, and a 3rd point, but oh no. There appears to be an injured player on the field, and she is hurting. It doesn't look good here for Nebraska City. There is an injured player on the field.
Nebraska City defense.
Coach
And
Dewey walks over.
Platteview managed to
Nebraska
score.
City players huddling up, trying to figure out what they're going to do. We'll be right back. Alright, the Nebraska City player managing to get up there, and she looks alright. Thankfully for Nebraska City. She is being walked off the field, though. Perhaps some sort of injury, maybe a concussion. We do not know. We all breathe a sigh of relief, however, as she does not look to be badly hurt. And Nebraska City kicks back off, and we're getting right back into the action. Nebraska City tries to pass the ball, but Platteview will manage to intercept it. And Platteview right back on the attack, trying to maneuver the ball around Nebraska City's defense, but they will not manage to do so. As Nebraska City's defense almost gets it past Plattview's offensive, but Platteview managing to almost maneuver the ball around Nebraska City. But wait, they do. They steal the ball from Nebraska City's defense and are charging deep into the Nebraska City's defense. They are breaking through here, and Platteview are almost there. They can sniff it. They can smell it. But Nebraska City's goalkeeper, she will catch that one. And they will boot it right back off. Fighting there for the 1v1, but Platteview will manage to win it there, but Nebraska City will manage to recover there. and will get the throw in there. Nebraska City trying to be a little more strategic about their throw in here, and it will pay off. As Nebraska City almost managing to break through the Platteview defense, but Platteview playing it smart here, and they will almost get it past the Nebraska City defense, but Nebraska City says no. But Platteview will have to play a little bit more smarter than that. They want to get past this Nebraska City defense. Oh, and they will. Platteview on the attack. Only a few Nebraska City defenders there, but they will pass the ball back and try to shoot. They will score! And Platteview will score a 4th point on Nebraska City. And that might be the dagger in Nebraska City, folks. 4 points is a lot in soccer. Platteview might have just ended the game there, but it is possible for a Nebraska City comeback. Even 1 point would be monumental here for Nebraska City. Let's see if they can do it. Nebraska City will kick off here.
Try to shoot. They will score.
Nebraska City kicks off, and they will try to boot it deep, and they will. Nebraska City boots it deep, but Platteview will try to play it smart here. Let's see if they can manage to do so. Platteview trying to maneuver past Nebraska City's defense, but they will not. Nebraska City's defense stands tall, but they will kick the ball out of bounds there for a Platteview throw-in, and Nebraska City will kick it all back out of bounds again in order to regroup here. Platteview has to spend a little extra time getting the ball here. That will allow Nebraska City to recoup. Platteview has the ball, and they pass it, and they're passing it around, trying to find the hole again for maybe a 5th point, which would absolutely, almost positively end this game. Platteview have the ball. Oh, but Nebraska City's defense manages to steal it off of them. But Platteview getting physical there and knocking the Nebraska City player down. But they will be out of bounds for a Nebraska City goal kick. Nebraska City kicks it off, but it's right to Platteview, who steal it off the Nebraska City defender. Platteview right back on the attack. Platteview trying to maneuver it around, but Nebraska City, they will not let it happen. Oh, and they are maneuvering the ball around Platteview, but Platteview managing to steal the ball right off of Nebraska City. Right back on the attack. Platteview trying to charge the ball deep in there, but it will not happen as they unfortunately kick the ball out of bounds for a Nebraska City throw-in. Goal kick. That will be unfortunate for Platteview at least, as that would have been a 5th point.
Do you want it? Hands warmer.
Platteview has the ball, and they will try to maneuver around the Nebraska City defense. But still, let's see if they can manage to do it. Platteview being slow and careful about it too, but Nebraska City will manage to intercept that ball and will try to drive up the field, but they may not be able to do it. 3 Platteview Trojans versus 1 Nebraska City defender. Platteview getting physical there, but their goalkeeper will go far out of the box to kick that one right back to their own offense. But Platteview kick it out of bounds in order to regroup. Platteview have the ball, and they're going to try to get it into Nebraska City's goal, but they will not. That will not happen. Too many defenders there, so they will try to regroup. Nebraska City will kick off here. They're trying to recover from a 4-point deficit. They need to do it now. Platteview have the ball. And, Nebraska City managing to defend that. They steal the ball off of Platteview, but they immediately kick it forward right into Plattview's clutches. Can Nebraska City recover this ball? They might not be able to do it. Platteview, they have the ball, and it's deep in Nebraska City territory, but Nebraska City managing to kick the ball out from under Platteview, who managed to recover and are passing the ball around, trying to find the hole here in the Nebraska City defense. But Nebraska City, they managed to steal the ball off the Platteview, and they're driving deep. But it looks like they but it looks like a penalty here on Platteview. Not exactly sure what it was. Perhaps a trip of some sort. Platteview trying to defend here for the Nebraska City offensive, and they will manage to do so. As Platteview go right back on the attack, maneuvering around the Nebraska City defense. Nebraska City's defense has been pretty good this half, but Platteview staying patient, staying calm, managing to run around Nebraska City's offense. But Nebraska City's defense will manage to kick the ball right back to Platteview. Platteview trying to pass the ball around here, trying to get through Nebraska City's defense and perhaps score a 5th point, which would absolutely be devastating for Nebraska City. Platteview running around along Nebraska City's defender, but will not manage to get to the ball before it goes out of bounds. So, Nebraska City will have the ball for a goal kick. Nebraska City kicks the ball off, and it's right into the clutches of Platteview. And Platteview have the ball and are trying to drive the dagger deep into Nebraska City, and they might manage to do it. Platteview shoot, but they will not manage to get past Nebraska City's goalkeeper. Nebraska City will boot the ball, trying to get a shot on Plattview's goal, but it will not happen. Platteview intercept the goal kick, and they will try to get the ball in there, but Nebraska City managed to header the ball and try to get the ball out of there, but Platteview steal the ball out from underneath Nebraska City, but Nebraska City steal the ball from Platteview, only to give the ball right back. Platteview have the ball, but they will get the ball stolen from them, only to steal the ball right back, only for the ball to be stolen once again. It's chaos. But it looks like Platteview have the advantage right now as they steal the ball and try to shoot, but they will miss. And that will be another goal kick for Nebraska City. A sub coming in here for Platteview. Taking a little extra time to get the ball out here, but they will manage to get it, and they will manage to kick it off. Nebraska City have the ball, but will not manage to get it past Platteview. Or will they, as they manage to pass the ball, but they will not get there in time, as it looks like a throw-in for Platteview. They try to throw it in past Nebraska City's defense, but they header the ball right back to Platteview, who steal it out from under them. Platteview trying to get the ball out there, but Nebraska City's goalkeeper will manage to scoop it up. Nebraska City's goalkeeper has been good tonight, managing to boot the ball out of there and right into the depths of Plattview's offense, but they will not manage to get the ball past, or will they, as Nebraska City steal the ball off of Platteview. They're going on the attack, but they will not get it past Plattview's defense, as Platteview maneuvering the ball around the low Nebraska City attacker. Platteview almost managing to get the ball through there, but Nebraska City will steal it out from under them, and then will pass the ball out of bounds in order to regroup. Platteview trying to defend here. Platteview have the ball, but it will be stolen by Nebraska City. They're going on the attack, driving the ball deep into Plattview's defense. Let's see if Nebraska City can get anything done. Nebraska City on the attack, but Platteview will try to pass the ball around, tire out Nebraska City's offense, and it looks like they pass the ball right through Nebraska City's legs. My goodness, what a pass. Nebraska City, though, managing to steal the ball out from under Platteview, trying to pass the ball to their own defense, who pass the ball right over the Platteview defender. 1v1 here for Nebraska City, but they will not manage to win it, as Platteview pass the ball back into the safety of their own defense, and they will probably manage to recover. Platteview drive the ball forward and are going right back on the attack, it would appear. But Nebraska City try to intercept it, and they will. Nebraska City have the ball, but it will be intercepted by Platteview. Platteview had the ball here, trying to regain control of this game. And it looks like they will. Platteview going right back on the attack. But that will be blocked by the Nebraska City defender. Oh my goodness, they found the hole. Platteview driving forward, but oh my goodness, Platteview had the ball. Will they manage to score? Platteview shoots.
No.
They will not manage to score, as Nebraska City's goalkeeper will manage to recover from that one. Platteview, though, have the ball off the header of Nebraska City, as Nebraska City will not manage to pass the ball to themselves. Platteview have the ball. It's deep in Nebraska City's defense. There's nowhere to go with it. Or where is there? Platteview passed the ball, but the Nebraska City goalkeeper, once again, saves it. Nebraska City's goalkeeper boots it off right back to Platteview, who passed the ball forward. Platteview right back on the attack in order, but the Nebraska City goalkeeper managing to scoop the ball up again and try to boot it again. Nebraska City's defense has the ball. They're trying to corral it, but Plattview's offense says no. They're trying to shoot it, and they will miss. Platteview will not get their 5th goal, and that is a good block from Nebraska City's goalkeeper.
Because it's okay, because before that was our goalie, and that was Galaxy. So we were all the times
Taking a little extra time to get the corner out here. Oh my goodness! What a shot from the corner kick! I have no words, ladies and gentlemen. That was just an impressive shot from Platteview, as Platteview score a 5th point on the Nebraska City Pioneers. My goodness. Nebraska City, they need something. 1 goal. Platteview, though, have been tough.
Time to get the corner out here. Oh my goodness!
Shot from the corner.
What
Platteview
a
have scored
shot.
5 with 24 minutes to go. Nebraska City needs a goal and fast here if they want to even have a slim chance of winning this game. Platteview, though, have the ball. They will try to win the 1v1, and they will. Platteview pass the ball forward, and no. It gets past Nebraska City's defense, only for Nebraska City's goalkeeper to immediately recover that ball, and she will boot it out of here. Nebraska City has the ball, but it will be immediately stolen from them by Platteview. Platteview have the ball and will try to shoot it, but Nebraska City's defense will manage to block that ball but that will be another Platteview corner kick. Can they repeat the magic? Platteview have another corner kick there. Will they try to repeat what they did last time? Let's see if they can do it. Platteview, though, they just pass the ball and are playing passively. Oh, Platteview try to shoot there, but they will be blocked by Nebraska City. But Platteview on the attack, trying to get through, but they will not. Nebraska City's defense steals it out from underneath Platteview, only to immediately pass the ball to them. Platteview try to shoot and score, but that will miss. And that will be a Nebraska City goal kick. Nebraska City has the ball, and they're trying to drive it forward, but Platteview, they do have that ball under control, and they will try to score a 6th goal on the night. They're hungry for more, and they are aggressive as ever. Platteview trying to shoot that ball into the goal of Nebraska City, but they will miss, and that will go through the goalposts again. That will be a Nebraska City goal kick here.
I don't know what's wrong with that. Yes. Yeah.
Nebraska City kicks the ball off here. And immediately intercepted by Platteview, who kicked the ball right back out for another Nebraska City goal kick.
I think we should be like meet more on this part. Yeah.
Looks like some subs coming in for both Platteview and Nebraska City. And with about 20 minutes left in this game, Nebraska City needs a goal now if they want to win. But Platteview on the attack. They want to fit a 6th point on the night. But they will be denied by the Nebraska City defense once again. Oh my goodness, a trip there by Nebraska City, but there will be no penalty. And I think that is a valid decision by the refs. Platteview, though, maneuvering around the Nebraska City defense. And they try to pass, but that will be blocked by Nebraska City. Number 5 charging up the field, trying to get that ball out from Platteview. That would be Kendall. But Platteview, they are not deterred. They are going right back on the attack, trying to maneuver around the Nebraska City defense. They almost get there, but Nebraska City says no, only for the ball to be immediately stolen by Platteview, and they're right back where they started. Platteview on the attack, trying to be patient here, and why not? They try to shoot the ball, but that is intercepted by Nebraska City's goalkeeper. And Platteview will header that ball out of bounds in attempt to regroup here. But there will be 2 Nebraska City subs coming in. Platteview have the ball here and are trying to break through Nebraska City's defense. But it looks like it's too tight as there are 4 Nebraska City defenders right there. But wait, Platteview almost managed to maneuver their way around the Nebraska City defense there. And that will be kicked out of bounds off of the Nebraska City defender. So there will be a Platteview throw-in. Wait. It looks like it was a corner kick. Looked like a throw-in to me, folks, but looks like it was a corner kick here. Never mind. It was a throw-in. They were close to that flag there, which is why that had me confused. Nebraska City, though, they will kick that ball out of bounds for a real corner kick this time, it looks like. Yep. Platteview have the corner kick ready to go. They will try to shoot that ball into the goal, and they will try to kick it in, but that will not be, as the ball goes right through the field goal posts and out of bounds for a Nebraska City goal kick. Looks like we have a little bit of a technical pause for tying of somebody's shoes here, but we're back on with a Nebraska City goal kick here. Nebraska City kicks the ball off, but it's immediately intercepted by Platteview, and they have that ball and are driving up the field right into Nebraska City's defense. They're going hyper aggressive, even though they're up by 5 points. Platteview does not care, and they will try to continue to go up, but they pass the ball back. Nebraska City is getting too up close and personal, and they want to play more passively now. But Platteview, they're continuing to drive up, and they'll try to get the ball past here, but they will not win that 1v1. Another 1v1 here from Nebraska City. And it looks like Platteview will manage to pass that ball back. And with a lot of options here, Platteview will pass the ball up. And they will try to pass the ball again, but it will be intercepted by the Nebraska City defender, only to be kicked out of bounds for a Platteview throw-in. Platteview have the ball. Looks like number 18 out there passing the ball, only to get it immediately back. Platteview, they have the ball and a lot of options. Platteview, they're trying to drive it deep into Nebraska City's defense. 3 Nebraska City defenders there, but Platteview does not care. Only Nebraska City's goalkeeper can stop that ball, and she does. And she will throw the ball instead of booting it this time. And that will not pay off, as Platteview will gain a hold of that ball, only for Nebraska City to steal it out from under them. But Platteview will intercept it and steal the ball from Nebraska City. Platteview have the ball and are driving up the field. Platteview have the ball. It's deep in Nebraska City's defense. They steal the ball from the defense. Platteview try to shoot, but they will miss. And they will be blocked by Nebraska City's defense. Platteview try to shoot, but they will miss again. Wide right for a Nebraska City goal kick. "15 minutes to go here in the game. It's almost safe to say it may be over here at Pioneer Stadium. The Trojans up 5-0. Platteview seem to have the ball here as they almost steal it from the Nebraska City defense, but Nebraska City steals it only to kick the ball up right to Platteview. Platteview have the ball and are driving deep in Nebraska City's defense. Platteview can't manage to corral that one. That will go out of bounds for a Nebraska City throw-in. Looks like a sub coming in here for Nebraska City. Nebraska City have the ball. They try to throw it in here. They try to maneuver it past the 3 Platteview attackers, and they manage to do so as they kick the ball deep into Platteview. And Platteview will try to maneuver around, and they will. Platteview are fast. 3 Pioneer defenders there, but Platteview does not care. They continue to drive. Platteview shoot, but Nebraska City's goalkeeper will catch that ball and will decide to... Looks like she's going to boot it this time, and she will. But Platteview, they managed to steal the ball out from under Nebraska City's nose again and drive the ball deep into Nebraska City's defense. But Nebraska City tried to kick the ball out, but Platteview will intercept it. Platteview keeping control of that ball, trying to run the clock down here, and why not up 5? But Platteview will lose control of that ball as Nebraska City wins the 50-50. But Platteview will regain control here.
He said that we have 4 minutes left in the lottery. He said that we have 4 minutes left in the lottery. Okay.
Platteview have the ball, but it will be stolen by Nebraska City, only to be kicked immediately back to Platteview. But, that ball will be almost stolen by Nebraska City. But it looks like there's a penalty here for what appears to be an offside. Platteview was offside there, and so Nebraska City will kick the ball out of bounds. An interesting play there by Nebraska City, But Platteview will regain control here and try to drive the ball again deep into Nebraska City's defense. But Nebraska City will try to get the ball out there, only for an advantage to be called for Platteview. It was looking... Looks like Platteview will get a kick here off of that advantage they were given. Platteview passes the ball up. And they're trying to get it past Nebraska City's defense again. Platteview will manage to do it, but there's too much power on that ball. It will go out of bounds for what looks like a Nebraska City goal kick. That is what it is. Nebraska City kicks the ball off here, but it's immediately intercepted by Platteview. Platteview going fast, and they're trying to find the hole again here in Nebraska City's defense. Platteview cross right to another Platteview player, but Nebraska City will steal that ball and intercept it. Nebraska City trying to get the ball deep into Platteview territory. They'll manage to do so. Platteview have to recover here if they want to keep the shutout alive, and they will manage to do so. Platteview right back on the attack, driving the ball deep into Nebraska City territory. Platteview immediately block an attempted pass, but there is a trip on the field, managing to trip up all the momentum that Platteview had. About 10 minutes left to go in this one, and it's been a lot of action here at Pioneer Stadium from Platteview. Platteview have the ball, but that ball is immediately kicked out of bounds for a Nebraska City throw-in. This could be the momentum they need to score at least one goal here. Nebraska City have the throw-in. That will be immediately headed by Platteview, only for Nebraska City to intercept it. Platteview trying to win the 1v1 here, and they do, but Nebraska City intercepts it. Oh, Platteview win that 1v1 there, and that may be crucial as it's a trip, but the refs don't see it. And Platteview charging up the field. They will try to shoot, but they score! And it looks like it's in for Platteview. And that is 6-0 Platteview. And I think at this point, it is safe to say this game is probably over.
They'll try to shoot, but they score!
Platteview have the ball, but it will be intercepted by Nebraska City. Platteview steal it off of them, though. And Platteview are deep in Nebraska City's territory. Maybe ready to score their 7th point of the night, which may be a little bit overkill. Platteview, though, driving deep. And they have control. Oh, but that's blocked by Nebraska City, and that's a nice block, too. But it's immediately stolen by Platteview, and they will gain control of this ball here as there are 3 Platteview defenders there. Platteview have the ball and are again driving up the field. They're trying to score their 7th point here. They try to shoot, but that is intercepted by Nebraska City's goalie. And she will boot it right out of the goal here. Ball here, and they will drive it up, but Nebraska City intercept it. But they will. Oh, Nebraska City almost manages to steal that off of Platteview, and that could have been a huge play by Nebraska City. But Platteview have the ball, and it looks like Nebraska City almost had that one there, but it's deep in Nebraska City's defense. Platteview have the ball. Oh, but that's intercepted by Gonzalez. And Gonzalez is going to boot it here. But Platteview headers the ball right back to their own offense, and they're right back on the attack. Platteview boots the ball, and there's an offensive play right there, but there's no play to happen. That ball is going too fast. Nebraska City kicks the ball off, and that is immediately intercepted by Platteview, only for Nebraska City to in turn intercept it. And so Platteview have the ball, and they're driving it deep again into Nebraska City's defense. But Nebraska City intercept it and pass it out. And there will be a trip called on Platteview for a Nebraska City kick. Final 5 minutes here in Nebraska City. Let's see if Nebraska City can at least get 1 goal on the board. Nebraska City kick the ball out, and it's deep into the Trojans' offense. And Platteview go right back on the attack. And they're going to try to get the ball through again here. Oh, an ingenious pass there by Platteview, and they almost get it through the Nebraska City defense there. But luckily for Nebraska City, they managed to recover. Platteview tried to do a deep shot there, and they will not score there. Looks like it's a corner kick here from Platteview. Platteview passes the ball from the corner. And it looks like they are going to try an outside attack here. They're going to try to break in here. And it looks like there is a lot of Nebraska City defenders there. Let's see if Platteview can manage to do it. Platteview have the ball. They're playing it safe. And they almost break through there. But it looks like Nebraska City is going to intercept it. There is a nasty collision there. It looks like a trip on Platteview there. And it looks like Nebraska City is going to kick the ball off here. Yes, they will. Neb City kicks off. But that will be immediately intercepted by Platteview, who go immediately back on the attack. Platteview, super aggressive here, but they will not get past that block. And Platteview is tripped up there by the Nebraska City defense. But Platteview, they immediately recover and intercept that ball. And so, Platteview, they have the ball. But what will they do with it? Maybe they're just trying to run the clock here. And why not? They are up 6-0 here. That is already a good scoreline in a soccer game. But Platteview immediately on the attack. They are not trying to run up that clock like I thought they were. They're trying to score another point here before time elapses. Platteview on the attack. But Nebraska City trying to defend here. And that ball will go right out of bounds for another goal kick here. And there are three Nebraska City subs coming in here. About a minute 30 left in this game. Platteview has the ball. And they're trying their hardest to get that ball in Nebraska City's goal for their 7th point of the night. Platteview, they're trying to drive it deep, but there are too many Nebraska City defenders. Can they get it past? Platteview playing passively, though. They're running around Nebraska City's defense, trying to find the opening. Will they find it? Platteview trying to drive it deep, but they will miss again. Wide right there. "50 seconds to go here in Nebraska City." Nebraska City kicks the ball out. And it's immediately intercepted by Platteview. Platteview have the ball. And it looks like they're going to try to score one last point here, but they will not. Nebraska City's defense will not let it happen. Nebraska City trying to win that 1v1 there. And it looks like they will not. Oh my goodness. Platteview try to shoot. And they will. Nebraska City will trip up. Oh my goodness. It's a Platteview goal in the last seconds of the game. And that will be the 7th Platteview goal on the night with 13 seconds to go. Adding the sugar on top of their victory, I suppose.
My God.
Goodness. Platteview try to shoot, and Nebraska City will trip up. Oh my goodness.
13 seconds left in the game here. Maybe Nebraska City can pull off one last play here to score a goal to avoid the shutout. Let's see if they can do it. Nebraska City will pick the ball back. And will drive the ball deep into Plattview's defense, who immediately kick the ball out. 4 seconds left. And the clock will run out here on this game as Platteview will shut out Nebraska City 7-0. And what a game this was from Platteview. They did score a lot in this one. And I gotta say, Nebraska City's defense did look good in this one. But it wasn't good enough to avoid the defeat by Platteview. That'll be all from me, Micah, on the mic. And I'll see you next time.